everyone, welcome back to another video. This one is a little bit different than a layout process video. I mentioned in the video where I did this layout for you guys that I had lost my footage for the other 3 double pages I did with this. So I decided I would go ahead and just show them to you in a video like this, a real-time video, and kind of talk about what I did. So you have seen this one. There is a layout video for this one, and I really like how it turned out. This was the first double page of a kit that I had with this collection. Oh, and I told you guys I would tell you the name. So it is Fishtails by Photoplay. I was right. So there will be a link below to this. I love this collection. I ended up with a little bit more of it than I probably normally would have. I didn't realize that Photoplay, they must send both like 2 sheets of each pattern with the collection, whereas a lot of companies don't. You'll get like 1. And so I had ordered a few. Not every paper. I didn't order 2 of every paper, but a few of them I did go through, and if I really liked the pattern, I ordered a second one. And so I did end up with more than I was planning on, but that's okay because, you know, I know we'll go to the aquarium again in the future. We go to the beach all the time. There's lots of things. You know, minus the aquarium, anything on this page could be used for anything because it's fish, it's seashells, you know, you'll see some other aspects, you know, so it could be used for anything, any summer page, any beach page, summer page, swimming pool, if you go to the pet store looking at fish, anything really. Even if you just had a little boy that you wanted to put, or even a little girl too, you know, there's no reason. I say boy because it's more, the more masculine colors, I would say, but I really like this collection though. I fell in love with it, and I'm really starting to like Photoplay a little more. So this is the first layout I did, and in the end I kind of mentioned that I put these Nuvo. Let's find out the right name for them, and I will try to remember to add a link to this below, but I love these. So it says dries clear, it's crystal drops morning dew. That's the actual name of it, and this dries clear much like glossy accents. I don't know if there's much of a difference other than I think you might see it. For me, the Nuvo drops, you can't add it in a large area. You can do little dots and slightly larger dots, but any more than that, it'll crack. I did that, and so here is a little close-up of the Queen & Company epoxy dots, which I love very much. And then these, like I said, I just sprinkled them all over the page. So they're not in any form or cluster. I mean, there are some on the photos here and there. They're all over just to mimic the look of bubbles, and I really like the added touch that it gives. You might not pick it up on camera as much as you do in person, but that's the first double page. The second double page is this one, and this was the second page to the kit, and I followed it fairly closely. I changed a couple of the stickers. I don't care for this one here because I don't like how he's kind of going off the layout, but it needed something there, and so I just went for it. I changed a couple of the fish. Again, I think they had this orange fish here, and again, he was going off the layout, so I swapped the 2. That way he's going into the layout as well as him. These are some black thickers that are so old that she put in with the kit. It was almost like she just had extras and put them in there. It works. I ended up using more of them throughout the next couple pages, so I'm really glad I have them, although I think I already have some of those, but it was amazing how old they were. Even the sides of the packaging was browning. It's funny. It's like it was, I don't know, but I did add, I don't know again how well you will see the epoxy, not the epoxy, the crystal drop all around these pages again as well. I also covered these little bubbles that are in a couple of the clusters with that, and that is where they got too big and they cracked. Could just be me, I don't know, but that's, I kind of knew it would happen because I'd used them before and it had happened, so I went with it and didn't, whatever. I didn't let it bother me. So these are more pictures. Let me hold up just so you can kind of see again the clear epoxy bubbles from those drops. So this is a double page. It's okay. It's not my favorite. I liked it. I like it though, and I think it's a fun page for what this is. These shapes all came pre-die cut, so that was part of the kit, just an FYI. So that's the second page. This third page, I love. Third double page, I guess I should say. I really enjoy how this one came out. One thing so I got this kit and I was getting ready for a crop, and I really wanted to take this kit to work with it. I think it was not long after we had gone. I think we went here last summer. Where's the date? I know I stamped it. Yeah, 2019. So the crop was around October-ish time, and I wanted to print these photos up, and the crop was like the next day or something. So I used my Canon selfie, which I normally only use for my daily life videos. Well, now I know why I don't use I don't enjoy using these pictures from the Canon selfie. I don't enjoy using them in scrapbooks. First of all, I enjoy the matte photos instead. I don't mind that. That's not a big deal breaker for me. But when I went to put these two 4x6 pieces together, the reason I mounted this entire layout is because there was literally 1/4 of an inch on both the top and the bottom of on the white cardstock that I was originally doing this layout on. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. I knew that they're not true for 6 inches with the Canon selfie, but I didn't realize they were that much off. So it must have been at least 1/4 inch each. So I started to glue them down, and I'm like, okay, I'll just make everything a little smaller and have a little border around with the white. But then these were off, and it was like really awkward. I'm a little worried about the smoothness of these photos and how well they'll stay stuck to the paper, but that only time will tell with that. And I love my Canon selfie for other things like my daily life album, because I can print those as I'm working on them. But yeah, not for scrapbooking unless I really need to get something done or something like that. I probably this is a lesson learned, because all of the pictures I've done so far were from the Canon selfie, but definitely lining them up, and yeah, I didn't like it as much. So here's where I use those black thickers again quite a bit, and I like this. I got my full title out of it. I don't know what else to say. This little cluster down here was a lot of fun. I didn't add the little epoxy dots to these. These Nuvo crystal drops, I mean. I probably could have, and I probably won't go back. I do need to still add my journaling, and I'm thinking maybe just a couple strips here and maybe a couple strips here or here. I don't need to say much, but I've already confessed that I totally planned this trip because I wanted to scrap these photos with this paper, but that's okay. But I love this little cluster down here. These are like little chipboard stickers. They're kind of thick like chipboard, but they were on like a sticker sheet. And then this is kind of a not epoxy, and it's kind of a puffy, but a harder puffy sticker. And so I put these here, and I had these here, and I was looking around for something to go next to it, and I found that castle, and it turned out really cute. I like how that turned out. So this was following a sketch by Scrapbook Generation, and I follow a lot of their sketches, so no big surprise there, right? And yeah, I don't know really what else to say. I did add a couple things up with foam tape. So this castle's a little bit higher. This is on foam tape, so it kind of, you know, there's a couple things raised. So I added one thing raised with foam tape over here. And like I mentioned, I'll probably add a few pieces or just a few typed journaling lines. I want to type them, that's why I haven't added them. So I have a little box that I put my layouts in that I want to add typed journaling to, so I can do all that journaling at once, and so I don't waste like half of a piece of white cardstock, if that makes sense. Because most of the time when I type my journaling up, I like to do it with white, on white cardstock. So, because typewriter paper just seems a little flimsy to me, at least the kind that I have. So that is that. I love that layout. These were a lot of fun to scrap. I'm so sorry I don't have the footage, but it is what it is. This is the last one I did. This is, again, a Scrapbook Generation sketch, and it was from her 6x6, Allison Davis's 6x6 2 paper pad class. So you could actually do 6x6 papers in these 4 sections. I didn't have the 6x6s, and so I just cut down the 12x12, but that worked just fine for me. A couple of them were scraps that I used anyway. I'm not sure how crazy I am. I know this doesn't line up correctly. I never seem to be able to line it up, although I seem to try really hard. It always seems to be off a little bit. But once it's in the album, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to let it bother me at all. I knew I was going to have these on here, and a little ways into it, I thought I have these extra papers because, like I mentioned, I bought a couple extra, thinking that the package only came with one. So I had a couple extra papers because, again, I also got that kit which had just a few papers in it. So on the back it's one of these. I did not trim these down because I didn't want to. I wanted to use the kit up, and why waste a white cardstock to go under that? So this is not trimmed down. But I knew that these were going to be really busy. So what I did was I mounted them on white cardstock, which you can see the sides are not even, and I'm not going to let that bother me because, again, once it's in the album and the page protectors, nobody's really going to notice. And nobody notices anyway. When I show people my layouts, they seem to focus on the photos, which is what we're here to scrapbook for. But sometimes you want somebody to say, no, what do you think of the page? But I had a lot of fun with the clusters on this one. There's 3 little bubble either stickers or the chipboard stickers in 3 different clusters. So, actually 4. So here, 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 and here. But then I have 2 more clusters, and I didn't have enough of these bubbles. So I just took these Nuvo, what is it again? Morning Dew Drops, and added a few in the clusters that didn't have the bubbles. So I covered the bubbles with it, and then there's 3 here in this cluster and 3 here in this cluster. So I really like that. These, and I'll leave a link below to this if I can find it. This is perfect for any kind of water page or anything like that you want to add. Just do it all over the place. And since it's clear, it doesn't really, it's not, wow, look at that, way too much. It's just a little bit of something, and I really enjoyed it. So just played around with the clusters. I did end up using this fish. I don't know if these were stickers or these might have just been part of the die cut pieces. So the title's supposed to read aquarium fish, and I really like it. I popped, but they're banners, so I used those. That was good. And I popped the bottom of these, which I might do. I do that quite a lot if I'm using banners, is I will pop the bottoms up with some foam tape. Sometimes I will just do it with random different ones, like you might have noticed. Let me pull out this one here. This one here, this first one is not popped up. The second one is. Third, fourth, not. This 5th one, it's kind of one sticker, but only underneath the orange it's popped up. And then this red one is not popped up, and then this one is popped up. So it's not up, down, up, down, up, down. It's kind of more random, and that just gives it a little bit more of a playful look. So, and this part of the banner doesn't seem to want to stay stuck anyway, but that's just a little idea if you're using banners to pop up tape, add foam dots underneath some of them, because it gives it some movement across the page and it adds interest to the page. But you could always do all of them, which is what, like I did here, but here I just did random ones. And you could do it every other one if you wanted. That wouldn't be a problem, but sometimes it, again, just adds more interest if you do every few or every other in like a non-pattern type way. So I hope all that makes sense. I did add a little bit of this water border sticker here, and so I went ahead and added it here. I was originally going to do typed strips of journaling on this side. I guess I could maybe still add, I might actually, now that I look at this, I was going to put this layout away, but because I feel like this space is really empty, and on the sketch, this is where they have their journaling, and they didn't have the journaling here, but I had this little die cut frame, which kind of, okay, if I would have known that I was going to use this die cut frame, first of all, I would have switched the pattern papers, because this is like a white background and that has a white background, whereas this has a blue background. It would have stuck out a little more, but I started to try to peel them up a little bit, and I said nope, it's done, and why bother? But I still went ahead and put the journaling in that frame, and then I made sure to ink the edges, which I did ink most of the edges on this, but I made sure to do that with these, and so it kind of gives it a little bit more of a pop. It does blend in, but it's not, I don't care that it blends in, if that makes sense. So that's just a little tip. I did go back and forth. It took me a while to figure out which 6x6 to put where, because these are all so busy, but 3 of them are white based and 1 of them was blue based, and I didn't really have another one that was kind of like this, and I didn't want to use the same one in 2 different spots, so I just eventually just started laying them down and said, you know what, it's going to be what it is. And I think, like I said, the whole thing kind of throws me off because this is not a white cardstock background, it's a blue one, but I like it. The pictures look really good because of the smaller size. There's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, 14 photos. So to get that many photos on here is pretty good. I like that. If you need to do this, you could make them, these are, how tall? 2 inches high, I believe. You could make them 3 inches high and do just the same. But these were perfect for the fish. I don't always... Okay, I never used to take pictures like this where, you know, of the fish. I always felt like I should have people in it. But my friend always took these really great pictures of photos and things like this, and she would scrapbook them just fine. And so it really inspired me to start taking them. And I mean, like this guy, he was so cool. I really enjoyed just like taking the time looking at the fish, getting pictures of them, and enjoying this part because now I will remember this cool little yellow guy and, you know, this really cool like worm, like I don't even know what he is. I did have to leave out like maybe 2 or 3 pictures, but I'm glad I did. They were just kind of multiples of these same animals, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But even this cool seahorse and the way the seahorse is all grabbed onto the chain, I thought it was really cool how they did that. So again, just to show you, if you can see the clear on the bubbles there, I'm not sure how well that's going to pick up. Maybe on that side, you can kind of see that they're shiny. And then a little bit of just the epoxy dots, just 3. These ones I made it look like bubbles going up, and in this cluster I made it just, they were randomly dispersed in that area. So again, I do think I will add some journaling strips here just to talk about these fish, because I talked about how I liked learning about the fish, but I didn't say anything specific about them. So yeah, I think I might just do that. So yeah, other than that, oh, and then here I also added, at least on this layout, there's these splash here and here in this cluster, there's these like splash marks. I did add the Nuvo drops to those, and that's where they cracked and didn't set very well. So if I have an area any bigger than this, I will definitely use glossy accents, which I don't pull out very often. I should, because it looks really cool, but I just don't. Maybe if I had it sitting somewhere, maybe that's my problem, is I got to put it somewhere I can just easily get to. But all right, those are my layouts. I'm sorry that I don't have any processes for them. I'm sure you guys all understand, and let's hope that doesn't happen, and let's hope this video doesn't get lost. Knock on wood, everybody, start knocking on some wood. I think that is it, and I will talk to you guys later. I'm going to possibly do one more layout with this collection, if not 2. And then I'm going to go back. Since I already have it out, I don't feel like why should I put it away just to pull it right back out. So, and I still have a few photos left over from this time. So I think I'm going to do those, and then I will put this stuff away and get back to working on my daily life albums, which I was going to look up where I was in each one, but they're kind of all covered up right now because my room's been, you know, doing one project to the next. You kind of mess, things get buried and piled. So, all right, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm glad I got so much of this done. It was fun to play with, and I will see you guys next time. Again, there's a link below if you want to find any of this collection. There will be a link to the epoxy dots, to the Nuvo drops, and other things down there. So, all right. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye.